Well, hello everybody. It's Monday, July 6th. It is 10 o'clock, well actually 10:15 Greenwich Mean Time right now. The market's been a little, well, I wouldn't call it crazy. It's just what I believe is what I call the summer doldrums has set in. European bankers, mainly European bankers, but all bankers in general, whether Asia, even here in the States, get nice long vacations, and the bankers are who trade a big bulk of the market. They move the big lots that move price. They provide most of the volume, and they usually take their vacations in the summertime. And so looking here at the pound yen, you can just kind of see how, the pound yen usually moves pretty well, even though this is, this is all a 50 pip range for, look at that, I mean, just forever. And it goes on, and then it kind of started to sink a little bit, made a little move, but you just see all this really tight trading. Just not a lot of action, and it's not, being able to move around and make any kind of formations, that I usually like to point out the consolidations, any of the squeezes into wedges, or it's just really hard to read right now. And and then it makes the big moves, like non-farm the other day, which was strange. It's bad news for the dollar, but yet the market looked at it as risk aversion, so the dollar went up instead of down. Just a strange time with the world economy as it is and everything else. So what I wanted to do today was maybe point out some other ways to look for some trades, especially here, which has become my favorite as of late, the pound yen. Just simply because support and resistance is rather easy to find in the pound yen, because mostly, I've talked about them before, and I'm going to talk about them again. 50 and 00, 0.50, and then move into the hundreds here. I call the minor psych level, major psych level, and it's just a psychological level that is hitting this even number and going to break it or break below it. And you can see here, this whole tight range traded basically between 159 and 150. All the candles closed above it. Then it fell down below, bounced here off of the 50, continued down, bounced here around 58, made another bounce back up, found resistance at 50, shot up to 59, and then dropped back down again, and landed here on 42, which is near 50, but for a lot of them, I mean, a major part, if you look at a lot of these support and resistance areas that I've drawn in, a lot of them are the even numbers, 5300, 153.50, and so on, 155, 155.50, 156, and you can just see the action here, squeeze between 156.50 and 157. And this was the open here at Tokyo earlier. It did gap, but then it squeezed in between here, not squeezed, but just stayed range bound between 156 and 156.50, dropped below, and hung around this 50 area, then dropped below there, continued past 155, and made a nice drop all the way down here to 153.50, and now it's making a bounce after making an attempt at 153. And these are the things, and it's usually one of the trades that I do personally. It's hard for me to post them and explain it. That's why I've been liking the idea of maybe doing a live trade room. Please, when you get a chance, go to the website and answer the poll question if you'd be interested. And maybe here pretty soon I'd like to open up a live trade room, at least during the beginning of the London session, the prior couple hours before, going into the Europe Open and then waiting for the London Open, and then carrying it into the London session for a couple hours, depending on what the price action's looking like. But these are the other type of moves that I like to look for. I like to watch for a break of these major and minor psych levels, or major support and resistance line, heavy support and resistance lines. Like, well, here 157 was heavy, made a break there. You had room to capture 50 pips there. I don't really play bounces very often. It's easier to watch for a break than it is bounces, but once in a while I'll take a bounce or try and catch a bounce, but honestly I'm not right as often as it is catching a break of these major levels. So when the market is kind of shifty like this, not setting up any patterns, what the best thing to do is just look for these support and these major and minor psych lines, especially on the pound yen, and watch for the breaks. Here it broke, bounced back, came back down, broke, continued down, and now it's waffling in this area and could break down and go this way again on the way back up. 154 for some reason didn't come into a lot of play on this end. This 154.39 is an older support resistance line that I drew earlier last week or the week before. I just leave them up to see if they hold up, and a lot of times they do, but mainly just watch for the major and the minor psych lines and watch for breaks of those. Take a look here at the pound. The major and minor psych levels don't work on this as much. Right here you can see it is right here at the 163. It caused some resistance there and then made a nice fall, but it did bounce here on this major psych level of 161. But just watching these older these older support and resistance lines, and just watching for breaks of those. This one's not as clear cut, but I just wanted to show you how these older support and resistance lines held up too. Like this one here, it slowed it down, then it continued, and this was an older one that like I said, drew last week or the week before, but it's still holding up. And that's why I don't like to clear these lines off my charts. I like to leave them on because a lot of times they'll hold up. So anyway, just something I wanted to throw at you as an idea of maybe trying to catch some of these moves, since we're not getting any squeezes, we're not getting any consolidation wedges forming. So anyway, just watch for these tight ranges, watch for breaks, and these nice falls from these psych levels, and just set type stops once it starts to move it to break even, because there's always going to be another trade, especially when you're watching breaks of these levels. You've got a lot of opportunity to enter trades, so you want to be more conservative and keep those stops tight, and just grab pips where you can. Especially, every 50 pip move here you can grab 30 pips rather easily, as long as you're not greedy and holding it too long and watch it come back on you. Just 30, 40 pips, do a couple of those a day isn't a bad day's work. So anyway, guys, I gotta print this. I gotta stop so I don't go over my 10 minutes for YouTube. So I'll be posting another video soon. Take care.